Hello, happy new year to all of you. I am so happy to film this episode. It's a new year. I hope you did enjoy your holiday. Thank you for scooping up time to have today's episode with me. If you're new, we say a warm welcome. This is a friendly channel where we do educational video on pregnancy, motherhood, entrepreneuring, whilst you're taking care of your baby. We look at life in general, and of course, together we try to make motherhood joyous. I know most of you have been sending a lot of comments and emails to me reminding me of our Wise By episode. The exciting thing is we are bringing it back this week because based on the testimonies that we've got from the Wise By, we deem it to bring it back. Yes. Some gave us feedback letting us know that it helped them make good decisions about which product they should buy, and when they buy it, they get the value for money, which we think is the best feeling ever. So we are bringing it back this week. All right. Today we're going to look at such a wonderful topic, and this is really relevant to first time moms or new moms or people who have just had a new baby. Even with we that have already had a baby, every baby come differently and they come with different approaches to us. So this is essential to all. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to disclaim that I am neither a medical professional or an expert. All videos that we share with you are based on our experiences, feedback from mothers who have also experienced these things, and then based on research, we bring this together to educate you. So we say a warm welcome for joining us for today's episode. Today, we are going to look at 10 essential new parental hacks on baby bliss. Okay, so we're going to look at how to handle a newborn baby and the things that they commonly do. Okay, some parents tend to be very scared, worried, and do not know what to do at a point in time when they meet their newborn baby. Newborn baby brings a lot of different attitudes and behaviors, and sometimes that can frustrate a mom. Hence our today's video to educate you on some hacks on how to handle these things easily. I will be looking down on my notes because I do not want to skip anything that I'm bringing it to you today. So when you see me looking down, it's just for me to make sure that I cover every note that I have written down to discuss with you today. If you're new on the channel, once again, we will say, please click on the subscription button to join us so that we can always share your feedback with us as well. And as you share your feedback and comment your feedback below, it helps other mothers to learn and get the support that we all need. Yes. So firstly, I will dive straight into the video. The first hack I would love to share with you is warmness and cozy. Someone will say, what is warmness and cozy? Okay, so when the baby is in the tummy is very warm and cozy. And so it's advisable that when baby comes out, you ensure to rub baby very well to make the baby feel very warm, and ensure to use a wrap that is very cozy. Some of us concentrate so much on getting fleece wraps that tends to be very itchy to their skin. As a newborn baby, their skin is very sensitive. So please ensure that when you are buying your wraps, you test this on your skin or that of your younger children to make sure that it has a fabric that do not irritate the skin. So ensure to have a very cozy wrap and ensure to wrap them very well. Some people think baby come out and in their first week, they like crying a lot. No. They might cry because they feel they feel the difference between the tummy and they being out. But when you wrap them well for them to feel the warmth that they felt within the tummy, they would not cry. But rather, they will tend to sleep for longer hours. I have experienced that, hence me share with you. So if you have a newborn baby who cries a lot, try to change her clothing or her wraps and see that there will be an improvement in his or her sleep. Hack 2. So our hack 2 is talking about their skin. You can bear witness with me and I can bear witness with you that when the children come, they have a very dry skin. Sometimes some of them come with a whitish skin and they have something like a break skin, like peeling off. Yes, babies tend to have such skin, and most especially those who pass their due dates, they have more of the whitish skin. According to research, the uterus contains some sticky substance called vernix, and that causes that to the baby's skin. Yes, so normally when they come, you have that on them, which sometimes they clean a bit of it from the hospital. I would advise that you keep the baby's body very moisturized. Sometimes when we talk about being moisturized, people think of creams that have so much oil in them. No. I am recommending creams that have more water in them than the oil. Why? Because the skin has been very, very dry and it's breaking and it has a skin peeling, it needs more of moisture or water in it to make sure that the breakage stop. Okay? Too much of oily cream on the skin at that time will rather close the pores of the baby, therefore will not allow the other nutrients in the cream you have used to be absorbed into the skin. So it's advisable to rather use moisturized cream that has more water rather than oil. Applying this to their skin regularly tends to moisturize the skin and it stops the breaking and the peeling. Okay? Also ensure that anytime that you do the moisturizing, you will need to first clean the skin very well before applying the moisture. Okay? Doing this regularly will restore the baby's skin within the few weeks that you spend with baby. Hack 3. So our hack 3 is mostly relevant to people who have baby boys. So most times, according to from our experiences and research that we've conducted, boys tend to wee a lot when you take off their nappy. I don't know whether it's something psychological, but this is something that happens a lot. If you've had a baby boy before, you can testify to this. Some people say it's because their wee thing is very sensitive when you touch it. Okay, so we recommend that if you have a baby boy and you're changing the nappy, when you take off the flaps of the Pampers, the front part of the nappy, you can just flap it a bit on the penne. And sometimes when you flap it one or two, psychologically or the body might think you have taken it off and the wee comes, and therefore you can cover it again to make sure the Pampers absorb the wee to prevent it splashing on your face. We all experience that so many times where you're just so much concentrating on how to take the Pampers off, and all that you realize is wee all over your face and on your dress, isn't it? Yes, so to avoid that, always try and flap the front of the Pampers 2 to 3 times to stimulate that wee from splashing on you, but rather being absorbed into the old nappy. Another thing you could do is maybe get an extra towel or napkin where you make it ready. So whilst you're taking this Pampers off, you could use this in blocking it to make sure it absorbs any extra wee that comes out. All right, so our 4th hack is going to be with kids. So most times kids grabbing. Okay, so most times newborn babies tend to grab onto anything that they can hold. So they can pull in your hair, they tend to pull in your earrings, they tend to pull in everything that they have, like they come in close contact with you, and it's not an intentional thing. It's just that with their palm there's this thing the scientists call it the palmer's grab reflex. So anytime something touches their palm, automatically it grabs onto it or it closes Okay, so that is when they touch your hair, they tend to grab it. They touch your earring, they tend to grab it. And sometimes what we all used to do, like when I was a first time mom, what I used to do was to try pulling it out of their hand, which it's inappropriate, or it's not the best way to handle that. The best way to handle this is to just have a little massage on the nickels, okay? So it could be on either the base nickels or the top nickels or the middle nickels, okay? As you tend to massage that a little bit of it, you see the baby gradually releasing wherever she's grabbing or gripping so hard onto. Is that okay? All right, so that leads us to our hack number 5, and that is frequent pooing of babies or weaning of babies. So it is noted that babies tend to wee a lot whenever you change their pampers. Immediately you change your pampers, they tend to wee. Immediately you change your pampers, some tend to poo. So we have a myth that as you keep changing their pampers to keep their body dry, it makes them sleep for a long time. But I'm here to give you that hack that at night, if you tend to change every pampers based on just a little pee that the baby has done, that is going to disrupt the baby's sleep. Hence, we recommend or advise from our experience that leave baby to enjoy their sleep, okay? And let them read throughout until they are awake. If they are awake and you have to change, we recommend that you keep the place dry. So after you have cleaned the baby with some wipes, make sure that you use a cloth to dry the place to make sure that the liquid in the wipes is not left there. Better still, you could use creams like pseudo cream to keep the place more dry to avoid any nappy rash. I have some friends who use powder to keep the place dry, which is also very, very essential. But the choice is up to you, what you are comfortable with. All right, so that takes us to our hack number 6. And that is trim moderately. What do I want you to trim moderately at this age? Babies tend to come out with a very long fingernails, and it's advisable for you to trim it. Yes, because they tend to keep their hands on their face for the first 2 weeks when they are out. And if you do not trim it, they will end up scratching all their faces, and that time they have a very tender skin. So it's important for you to trim it. I know some of you buy baby gloves and stuff like that, but it's still important for you to trim, because if it's very long, it could still, some of these gloves are it's knitted and they could still go through to hurt themselves. However, we recommend that use baby nail cutters or trimmers. Some of us, like for example myself, when I had my first baby, I just took the nail cutter I used for the other children, and I myself and my husband, and we took it, and that was what we wanted to go and use, only for us to realize that baby has very tender fingernails, and if you do not take care, you will cut the skin of the fingertips. So we recommend firstly that you use baby trimmers. Okay, it's very small and it's made suitable for babies. Okay, avoid using blades to cut baby's nails, and when you are trimming the nails, we recommend that don't trim it to don't trim all the grown ones like we adults tend to trim everything on the all the grown ones off. With baby, we recommend leave a little bit on there. Why? Because of the tenderness of their nail, okay, if you tend to trim it the way you would trim it as an adult, you will end up cutting their skin. And because their nails are now developing within, you do not want to damage any cell that helps with the nails development. Okay, so that takes us to hack number 7, which is avoid regular bathing of babies. I know from where I come from, babies are bathed every morning and every evening, but especially whether we are in Europe, we are in the UK, we are in a different condition altogether. And so it is recommended that you do not need to bath baby every blessed day, especially when the weather is coldest. You can bath baby. Sometimes they bath the baby for you before you leave the hospital. You can bath baby maybe every 2 days. But other ways that you can still apply to baby that still results in bathing the baby. What do I mean by that? You could just have a lukewarm water or a warm water in a bucket, put your detergent in, have a soft towel, and just clean baby's skin. Sometimes other parts like the armpits, between the legs, you could put a little bit of their soap on there, use to wrap a first wrap, then you do a second wrap with a clean water, then you have a clean towel to dry them up. That still results the same as bathing them. Is that okay? So avoid regular bathing them, because as fragile as they are, the more you keep turning them, the more you try to clean everything into detail, you might end up hurting the baby or impeding their development, maybe through the way you just turn them or keep swinging their arms around, could affect any development in their body. So we recommend that in your first few weeks of birth, try and clean baby. Is that okay? Good. Then hack 8 is with their hair. So when baby comes, from where I come from, first day, they just take a comb and they want to comb it so thoroughly that you do not even see any knot in there. Baby's hair, his head and his skull is still fragile, very fragile. As mom, if you touch the middle part of the baby, you still realize that there is a hole in the middle of baby's hair. So I recommend that avoid trying to comb baby's hair thoroughly. I recommend from my experience that use finger comb baby's hair. After you have cleaned the baby's hair, it becomes very soft because the hair is very, very soft naturally when they come out. Just finger comb baby's hair for air to be able to penetrate through. If possible, do not use comb regularly on the hair. Just finger comb their hair. All right, and that takes us to number 9 of our hacks for today, and which is signature cuddle. Yes, we cuddle our children every day, but it is nice and it's remarkable to cuddle baby in a special way that makes them know you. So when baby comes, you are the only person they know. And it's nice for them to always smell you or feel you around. And therefore, it will be nice that maybe, for example, when I had my baby, even though I hold her to cuddle her all the time, there was one thing I usually do. I rub my cheek on her cheek for some time, or sometimes my nose on her nose for some time. So it got to a time that no matter how she's crying or she's asleep or I'm going to feed her and she wants to be sure is mom going to feed her, I just apply that same signature cuddle, like my nose to her nose or maybe her cheeks to my cheek, and she just smiles even though she's sleeping. It makes her know it's mom around. And this is something that has brought a lot of bonding. It's something that makes her not stress herself to open her eyes to break from sleep, but still trust that it's mom doing what she's doing to me. So I think this has helped me in so many ways, and I think is worth being called a hack for me to share with you. And our last one is dummy. Yes, we use dummy. Baby loves dummy. Whether we like it or not, they love it. At a point, we don't want them to use them anymore, which is fine. But I recommend that let's use dummies with covers. Okay, let's use dummy with covers to avoid germs, to avoid bacteria. Babies tend to love it a lot. So having a dummy with a cover is brilliant, and having a dummy with a dummy holder is brilliant, because when we take them out in our baggies and they have it on their mouth, they will tend to smile at somebody and that could drop. And sometimes when it drops and you feel like I'm not going to let her use it because it's dirty, but you end up seeing her at a pace where she's crying so much and you feel so discomfort, you will even forget that it's dirty and you put it back into their mouth. But when you have a holder which is clinched to her dress, there's no way it's going to fall on the floor. That means it prevents it from getting contaminated easily. So it's a plus, okay? And so do you have, if you have a cover for the dummy as well. If I say cover, I think I should have one. Yes, so I can have one here. So that is a dummy cover, okay? So that when it's lying down, you don't have bacteria settling on there. It's always covered, okay? And that is also very essential. I love this one because it actually clicks and locks so it doesn't fall off. And you can still have the holder on it if you want. So these are things that we recommend because bacteria and germs affecting newborn baby is very serious. Therefore, let us try to ensure that all dummies we give to our children has a cover and we has a holder to clip to their dresses so as to prevent a lot of bacteria going on there. Also, I think it helps saves money. Yes, because sometimes if there's no holder, it might fall whilst you are pushing the bag and you might not even notice it. And I had a lot of these dummies getting lost. I used to buy dummy every single day when I used to take my baby out. So it saves money as well if you have a holder that clips to their dress. I hope these 10 essential hacks that I've brought to you would be very helpful. I know you're going to be meeting almost all these 10 things that I have shared with you, and I know when you experience it, you will know how to handle it. That is all that we are all about, is to make motherhood joyous. If you have ever experienced any of these hacks, please comment it below. Tell us how you handle it so that other mothers can also learn from it. Do not let motherhood be lonely, but rather joyous. So share your advice, share your experiences in the comments below so we can help each other. Helping each other makes motherhood joyous. It's been your lady, Miss Millie, as always. Thank you for spending time. Please don't forget to like, share to others to help them out there, and subscribe to join the channel for more educational video. Until then, I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.